How's everyone doing? We are back into Timelocke. We're looking at some sheepies over there, but today we gotta go on a collecting adventure because we are running out of resources. Our cobblestone's getting really low. We completely use this entire chest of dirt, and we need to go hunting for bricks and ink sacks again. Which we did this a couple episodes back. I say couple, probably like 5 or 10 episodes ago at this point. But we need to go off for a little adventure for that. And I haven't fully recorded a video in a while. I was actually going to record a couple nights ago, but I sat down to record. I got in the world, I walked around, and I was like, man, I got nothing. So instead of stressing or anything, I just closed the world out and I said, I'll come back another day, which is a good thing to do. Man, there's a lot of sheep here. Yeah, which is something I feel is very important for this world, especially with how often I play. You need to find a way to balance between playing and not playing. Because if I don't feel motivated to play, I'm not going to play. Which is why I also stagger videos in the way I do, so that I'm good. Like I have not recorded a video in probably 5 days. I am about out. I got enough for tomorrow, so the day before this one goes out. But I'm still good. But I always feel it's important to make the playing feel natural. That's something I used to do when the series first started. Was I would do stuff and then I'd force videos out to try to meet like the daily uploads, which is what I tried doing originally. If you go back to January or stuff like that, I had very stupid little short videos that I'm not proud of. Looking back in retrospect, I really wish I would have just skipped the recording that day. But I can't dwell on the past too much. It's already happened, so it'll be whatever. So today we're gonna go look for some sand. Not sand, sorry, some clay. We've went this way a couple times already. This has just been the place to hunt for ink sacks and stuff. So you might as well take it again. We got tons of wood on us from all the trees over by the museum, so that has luckily been a lifesaver. Oops. You cannot make an iron boat. That's not a thing. Wait, that's just a minecart. So I guess iron boats are a thing. They just don't work as boats. Yeah, and over this way, it is very sketchy if you've not seen me explore over here because of the chunk errors and all this kind of stuff we got going on. Another thing I want to notice is, yeah, we still don't have anyone for the color garden. We have taken a pretty long break from it as views have slowed down and stuff, so I haven't been too adamant on it. We will go back to it eventually. It'll just be the dry period of the color garden in the history books looking back at it or something. I don't know. But yeah, don't worry. We will. Dang it. I swear the boats break when you don't think they will, but when you do think they are gonna break, it just bounces off, and I look at it like, oh, okay. It has done that to me so many times. This section over here just makes me feel weird with the chunks and stuff. I don't know, just give me an uneasy feel. It's kind of like those photos of like all the holes in a photo, and they're like, oh, if you don't like this, you have a phobia. I was like, I don't have a phobia. I just don't like how the photo looks. I'm not scared of it. It just gives me that weird uneased feeling. I can't think of exactly what the name is of it, but I think you should have an idea of what I mean. Okay, so we are back over here. It wouldn't just make sense to just keep bringing my craft table with me, but if I just place enough down in the world, I'll eventually just have craft tables for my entire venture. I'll just follow the crafting tables, and that'll just lead my way back. So it looks like there's a little bit of clay here. This is what we really need. I want to finish the bakery. I want to get that decorated because if you didn't hear me, I remember if it was last episode or episode before that. We are officially coming back to the base. Oh my goodness, that was we are officially coming back to the base for a little bit, and we are taking a break from the museum. Not because, like, I don't want to be over there anymore. I do, but I was kind of just running out of some little ideas for it, and I also just want to get some projects wrapped up over at the base. I got 3 of them I really want to get done. I want to get the dam done, I want to get the bakery done, and I want to fix up the house. Not our house, like that one that we started. And then I also need to start collecting more materials. Like we need to collect tons of wool. I want to get the mall basement area filled in, stuff like that. So this leads us to a stack of bricks, which is pretty nice. We realistically need a lot more. I don't know an exact total we're gonna need for this, but see, it's pretty seeing ice and stuff because we did not have this in our world when the world started. Because back in the day when early alpha was around, you had a chance of being a snow world or a not snow world, and so that decided if you had snow or not. But now that they have biomes in the game that decide like each section of the world has its own biome, that you can now get these temperature biomes in each other, I think is a good way of wording it. I have definitely enjoyed it, and I definitely need to bring more snow back because snow is a pretty white block we can use for stuff, and it's easier to get than wool. But I think it can melt, which is why I have kind of stayed away from it. And also, I didn't realize we had a snow biome so close. We were waiting forever to get spruce, and I didn't realize it was literally in our backyard right here. So that one's on me, not fully picking up that stuff was around us. Ooh, we got a lava pool. Let's be careful. I did before we started drop off most of my diamonds because I don't want to lose all of them. That would not be cool. There we go. I want somebody to seriously go back and look at how many different crafting tables I have crafted in this world. Obviously, there's no ways to like look at like the amount of stats. In the game file, there might be some weird way. Like if you look, it might store that stuff. But realistically, I don't see a way that it would unless they added it as like a core feature on its own. But I do seriously wonder the amount of crafting tables I have made at this point because it is a ungodly number. I just keep making them and keep making them. Like if you walk through the main base, there's a crafting table like every 10 blocks or so, which I think is just really funny. Get a time check. It's about to be night. We're gonna have to probably set up for the night. So unfortunately, I think the adventure's probably have to end for now over here. Let's see. So if we jump out of the boat here, oh, the first thing I gotta do is I need to turn my brightness up because I play it so dark that I can't see in the water. Okay, so it only goes down to here. That's not too bad. That's pretty low. So first thing we gotta do, no, no boat, come back, no. First thing we gotta do, have a crafting table. Now we should be good to not have to go back up if we do this quick enough. Okay. So, what I've started doing for for this stuff is surrounding myself. This is impossible to see. I apologize. Okay. So what we need to do Let me break this crafting table. Did I pick it up? No, where'd it go? Did I pick it up? Okay, I did. So what we need to do is do that, that, then fill this in. Now that we did that, what we can do what I finally wanted to do, which is make a torch and place it up here. There we go. Made it much more difficult than I needed this to be. And what I want to do next is expand this over a little bit. And then put a furnace. So this is what I'm doing at nights. Is just this. We're going to need to actually, since I didn't bring any cobble. Oh, geez. This just goes down. Oh, well. This keeps us busy for the night, at least, is the positive of this. So we just need, I was going to say 8, but we can get away with 2. One to make the clay, and the other one to make more charcoal. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this is like the, I guess, my way of passing the night so that I'm actually like constantly doing stuff because what I've done for forever is, well, just, I sit in a cave I dug and do nothing for the night. And it's like that works, but then at a certain point, you're not being good enough with your time, we could say. Oh, we can use, this is actually the perfect setup for it because we can use the crafting table through there, which is really funny. Yeah, so I'm actually constantly doing stuff. And then also, smelting the clay down saves inventory space. So that also really helps. But unfortunately, with me dropping off all the furniture that's all in that chest I didn't grab, I had to dig down and craft more. But I figured since we kind of got time to waste, and I kind of want to go back to my roots of this, because I was thinking, somebody's recently been watching through all the videos and they've been commenting, and it just kind of made me think back about things and realize I kind of want to go back to what we did in the olden days of the series. If you go all the way back to the first 10, 15 episodes, which is a mixed bag of audio issues, me not knowing what I was doing, and getting my footing for like the series as a whole, if you get what I mean. And one of the biggest things I miss is the podcast aspect that I really wanted this series to, start with and work with and become. And I feel like I've kind of steered away from that in a massive part where it's not where I wanted it, where the series is not where I fully wanted it to be. But it's also not in like a bad spot. I'm happy with what we've done and things we've seen and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like I want to go back to telling stories, talking about fun things, kind of stuff like that. And I figured I could talk about my weekend since I had a fun weekend. So what I did was I went out and some friends from work invited me to go to a sporting event with them. I went with them once. I may have chatted about this in the past on here, but I went to a collegiate baseball game here in the States. So it is the level before you make it into the minor or pro leagues of the sport. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll go to a game with them. And it's our local college that we all root for and stuff that I do for football and other sports like that. So we went to the game. It was supposed to be a 3 o'clocker. It ended up getting moved because of storm we got. So the night before, we had some crazy flooding here. And tons of the flat places around me were getting insane levels of of just rain. There's a little soccer park in my town, and we would joke about it because it floods every single time it rains. But this time it flooded all the way up to the road, and it was like, okay, this is even worse than normal. So then, from all that flooding, all that stuff, they ended up moving the game an hour forward, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. We can go earlier. We can go at 1 o'clock. It was on a Saturday. It's like I have to work the next morning, so I'd rather get back home at an early time. But as we were at the game, they decided to be like, hey, what if we went to a hockey game this night too? And they looked, the tickets were kind of cheap, and they're like, man, this would be a good opportunity to go. And we were all like, yeah, we should. But three of us were like, no, we don't really want to go. And then at the end of the game, the tickets ended up dropping like $20 each, and he bought them. And we're like, crap, we got to go. So then we went out to eat, and wasted the time for 2 hours before we ended up going to the game about 7 o'clock at night. I had left at about 11 for the day, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna be back by 5 o'clock. Now fast forward me at 11 o'clock sitting in a hockey arena watching a game, and it's like, this was not what I fully expected to do. And and I feel like it is those like spontaneous moment decisions that are the most fun things to do, because I had a lot of firsts. It was the first college baseball game I've ever went to. It was the first hockey game I ever went to. Stuff like that. Because I'm always a big sports person, but I always watch them on TV or whatever like that. But actually watching them in person with people was a lot of fun, and I really hope to do some more fun things like that. But so the game gets over. It's like 10. It's like 10:30. The last time I went over, I went with these people. I didn't end up getting home till I think like 1 o'clock that night, having to work then at 7 the next morning. The funny thing is, we met at our place of work, so I was at my place of work 6 hours before having to come immediately drive back there. But I ended up sleeping in a couple hours and just coming in later. Which my manager gave the one guy crap who orchestrated the whole thing, and I was like, hey, I'm like, listen, I'll do it again because they were gonna call off for Easter and stuff, so they didn't care how late we got back, and I was like, you know what? I'm like, if we get back super late, I'll sleep in and I'll go in later. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. I haven't done that in a couple months because our work gives us like time we can use that can be used at any time. So like typically if you show up late, you just get in trouble for it. But ours gives us like so many hours a year that you can use with no penalty or anything, which I think is a really cool thing. But we ended up getting out the game 10, 11. We go to walk out to our car in the parking garage, and we could not find it in the rain because like it had started raining right as we got to the hockey arena for the night, which is the reason they pushed the 3 o'clock game forward. But then afterwards, I forgot, and it was still raining, and we could not, for the life of us, find out where the car was. We walked in circles and stuff, and for some reason, I think that the guy who's leading it just like went out the wrong doors and just led us in a complete like circle around the garage. So we just got rained on for like 20 minutes walking around it, tired, ready to go home. And then the really mean thing is the one guy who drove. They were trying to get me to drive, and I was like, I'm not feeling this. So what I did was after I got there, I walked up to somebody else, and I was like, hey, can we just say you brought me? Because he brought his truck, so he wasn't going to be able to carry more than two people, and there's four of us. So then he's like, you know what, I'm in for it. Let's mess with the one guy. So he was in, and we got to mess with the one guy, and we made him drive, even though he drives every time. And he was like, but he immediately caved and did it. But he had to work at 3 o'clock the next morning, and as I stated, and as you know, we didn't get back till like 11 o'clock. So this poor dude was supposed to go home, sleep for 3 hours, and go back to work. But the worst is we made him drive home, which is the dumbest thing. But look, he would have told us no if he really didn't have to. But he ended up driving us home, sleep deprived, before having to work in a couple hours. So I thought that was really funny. Poor guy. He was an absolute trooper. I texted him the next morning. I was like, dude, you're the best for that. I said we owe you for that one. But overall, it was a fun experience. If you've never went to a sporting event, I would recommend going. I mean, it's always a lot of fun, and you never know what's gonna happen. But as we wrap that story up, it looks like our night's gonna wrap up. So I'm going to start mining our furnaces. Anyway, fun fact, don't mine the furnaces, there's still stuff in it, because the stuff does not come out. I learned that one the hard way last time. But yeah, I thought that was a fun experience that we got to have. And I was like, I might as well share a little story about me. Because I share, I was thinking back to like the running story I shared and other little things like that, where I tell little personal bits to give people that more like personal connection. Uh, Here, let's find this block. Okay, cool. Let's get out of here. Yeah, like I like giving the personal connection because it's more fun that way. Because then you can really relate with the person. If you're like, oh, cool, I went on this adventure. It's like, here, I'll drag you along. And I did say that I was thinking it's really difficult to tell a story when you're purposely leaving names out of it because I try to keep everything like a very general thing. So like you don't have to know people, you don't have to know lore or anything. It's just like, oh, cool, yeah. Anyway, so I did this with this and this and this. Everybody's like, yeah, that's cool. Watch this break again. Ha! Stupid boat, you didn't break. But yeah, that was my fun mini adventure. And funny enough, I do think those little adventures away do also lead to wanting to play more Minecraft. Because the next day, I was like, man, I'm gonna record some videos and like I want to catch up. I just got off work. It's a Sunday, but man, there's something about work that just absolutely drains you. I don't. Obviously, that's just working. But the weird thing is, because I take my lunch later in the day, so I work 6 hours before taking my lunch, and then I go to lunch and come back and I have two, and I drive home to let my dog out. And those 2 hours from me going to lunch, those 2 hours going home, my energy flips. Like literally, I'll be driving home, like right when it started getting warm again, and I was like, man, this is gonna be a good day. I can wait to go for a run, go do some stuff, and somehow 2 hours later, getting home, I'm so tired and I can't do anything. It doesn't make any sense how it just flips just so dramatically like that. I think we need to go this way. Like I get energy levels do that kind of stuff, but like 2 hours shouldn't make the difference for it. Which does suck though, because it does drain away a lot of my creativity. So I end up really recording on my days off, which I do want to get better at. And for some reason, our store's cutting hours for the first time I've ever seen. So I'm gonna have more time to play Minecraft. Yay! Let's go. Hashtag let's hope PB gets fired so he has more free time. No, let's not say that one. But, but let's see what this section has for us over here. Well, so we're looking at just more flat ice plains, really. Which does suck, because the one thing I do realize is every chunk I explore is a chunk that I'm going to have to explore farther in the next update. Which is kind of a problem. I'm kind of just letting myself not worry about until I have to. Like I was saying, realistically, I'll probably delete chunks in the future, which is what makes just the most sense to me. Obviously, not like the super close chunks or anything, but like I go out 5,000 blocks, I'm like, let's just wipe these. Because really, all it does is impair the experience of trying to go farther and farther each time, as it just makes it more arbitrary. Let's say that we play this world for 15 more years, and there's 30, 40 updates, and each update adds new things to go explore. By the end of this, I'm going to be 100,000 blocks out in the west direction looking for some blue tree or something. Like, what good does that have to me? Which I also do think is the issue of why people don't do these long-standing worlds like this, and if they do it in a way of kind of like how people would play on an older version which had the world size limited for forever, and then they expand it out slowly, like after some years. But then also that leads into a lot of people who do that ended up just cheating their worlds. So they cheat all the blocks in, and then just or like it's a story, you know. It's not about me collecting the blocks, it's about me placing them and building. which I do understand. My goodness, more sheepies. Um, which I do understand. But I never plan to cheat in this world, so that's not something I'm gonna worry about. If the day comes and I do that, so be it. But I don't plan for it to happen like that, because this world, my entertainment's first, your guys' is secondary, which is a weird way of saying it. Because Hibbley's like, oh, I do things for the fans, but like the only thing that keeps me going, I guess, in this is myself. And if I don't have myself going well with it, then like, what's the point? If you get what I mean. So it's not like a selfish way of like, you know what, I don't care about the fans. I'm gonna do what I want. It's gonna be well, fans aren't always gonna be here. If the fans start being here, they will dictate what I like. But for the most part, what I like will be determined by me in the moment, if you get what I mean. But as we say this, we are kind of struggling to find clay. I figured there would have been a little bit more out here than what we did. 'Cause we literally found one patch so far. I know we did retrace old places, and I'm not even in the correct biome for it at this point. As you see, we're in the grass, plain, hilly, flower place next to the snow, like biome. So, obviously, I don't think much sand will be found here, because it's mostly, like, on the beaches and stuff. But we didn't find any beaches, like, oh, there's a mini beach, but there's not much there. That's a cool little mountain that's trying to render in. There's so much cool land just around here and stuff to explore. I may use one day. Like, imagine, like, we build something over here in the future. It would be really cool. I doubt it, just because how far away we are. But you can never say never on a project. Yeah. Some of this terrain's really fun to see and stuff. Obviously, it's not the most prettiest thing. It's probably just nostalgia, just like whispering in my ear, like, "Ooh, look at this. You like this, don't you?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's like my childhood, yeah." But in realistic, it's like, okay, this is pretty ugly, but nostalgia is such a powerful thing, and I feel like it's what's driving the series the most out of most things. But it looks like we're hitting the water again. We're kind of walking in a weird way where I kind of looped around, but I am wanting to find more. I guess we're gonna power up my brightness all the way. I hate putting my computer on full brightness. I don't know what this is. I do that for all my devices. Like, for example, my phone. I always keep it at a super low brightness, which sucks. Because yesterday I was driving. I need to pull my maps up. And the sun was in just a bad enough spot. I could literally not see my phone screen as I was driving. And I'm like, okay, I can't just be on my phone. So I had to stop for a red light, find my phone, jack up the brightness, just to put the maps on. Luckily, I was already going the right way, so it's not like I was running late or just went the complete wrong way. But, still, it makes it a whole process for that. Oh, I thought that was clay for a second. It's just sand. I hope to find some squids or something. The cool thing is I can always tell when I'm exploring new chunks, because of the birch type tree that are in here. At my, where I used to live at, we had a little tiny thin birch tree that it was literally just a birch. It had the same exact texture on it. And I thought it was cool having one of those. Very random story right there. Not much significance to it, but I was like, hey, I had a birch tree back in my day, okay? I know what this is all about. This is messy. What in the world? This is weird. It's almost like a pathway. Was it here? No, I'm joking. But you never know. Well, if he's like right behind me. Like, he could be in the game. You never know. Crap, it's about to be night, and I like hiding in the water. Yikes. I don't like this. Feels like some of the blocks are trying to load in as I go down. It's really weird. 5, 6. So if we just, yeah, so life hack, we just go underground. So I guess this is just a hybrid of both sections. But yeah, no, this night I will probably just time skip, realistically. Because I'm trying to just get some progress done. I can jack the brightness back down. I'll drop 3 in both of these, and then for this one, oh man, I am absolutely flying through this wood we have. So maybe I just do another 24. Okay, cool. Well, actually, we're gonna end this episode right here. We're gonna be kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Next episode we will pick up in the morning. Well, thank you guys for joining us on the first part of this adventure. Obviously, we didn't get as much as we wanted to, but hey, we still got a pretty good amount of bricks, which will be good for the back part of the house. But that's all for me, guys. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.